Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hindu Explainer series. I am Kushagra Goel. Good morning to all of you and all our viewers. I know that a lot of you keep on having this doubt about how to prepare notes for current affairs, right? So I am going to begin once again by explaining how you should be doing, right? I have always told you that see, on certain days there is less news, on certain days there is more news. Irrespective of that, your focus is and should be always about the topics that are relevant, all right? And on a daily basis, as all of you are preparing for current affairs on a daily basis, you update your topics daily, all right? So you are focusing on the headings. So for example, let's say vaccines, right? So whenever there is an update on the vaccines, put in a note. Let's say you updated that Moderna begins trial of vaccines on children on March 17th, right? So you have Moderna becomes the first vaccine agency to start with children vaccination, bracket March 17, all right? So that is how you keep on updating your current affairs notes. You don't have to focus solely on the date, all right? The examination doesn't question you. From CLAT 2021 you will not have March 17 Hindu newspaper, what was the headline? No, right? It is always focused on the passage. The passage is focused on a topic, and therefore your current affairs is to be topic wise, updated on a daily basis. All right, so that is how you have to prepare your current affairs notes. That way you're not missing out on anything, right? Always prepare notes on topic wise and keep on adding information. No topic of current affairs is ever complete, all right? You need to keep on adding. Therefore, whenever you are preparing examinations or in life also, knowledge keeps on expanding. Things that were speculations earlier have now become facts. Facts have become updated. There is no new perspectives added to them, right? So you need to keep on updating yourself on that point, right? So that is, I believe, the best strategy for preparing notes for your current affairs, all right? Now beginning with specific doubts regarding the newspaper yesterday, right? So one doubt students had was, where is the headquarters of BRICS? BRICS does not have a headquarters, all right? Each country, it's on a rotating basis, it is hosted. Different initiatives of the BRICS, all right? So for example, the New Development Bank, that is based out of Shanghai in China, all right? So that is how BRICS is done. We have done a detailed discussion about BRICS, and I will put in a link in the description box about the date when we did it, all right? Then moving on, another doubt that students had was about relevance of certain cases, all right? Relevance of certain cases, whether this case is relevant or that case is relevant. Whichever cases are relevant, we are covering, all right? Supreme Court comes out with approximately 30 to 40 judgments every day. Whichever makes the headlines, whichever becomes relevant for you, we will cover them, all right? So don't worry about that part, right? Then moving on, another doubt students had, what is the scheme under which India is distributing the vaccines? The scheme is known as Vaccine Maitri scheme, all right, under which India is providing free vaccines to different countries, all right? Then moving on, another question that students had is, what does term gender sensitization means? So for example, sensitization is basically making people aware about certain new developments, all right? Sensitization could be of anything. Health sensitization, how to wash your hands, that is a method of sensitization, all right? Or how is your privacy affected, what are copyright violations? All those things are sensitization drives, all right? And gender sensitization is making yourself aware about gender issues, different concerns of gender problems, all those parts. Sensitization is basically making yourself re-aware, learning new things, all right? So that you don't make a mistake in the future, right? Then moving on, another doubt. So yesterday we discussed editorial related to POCSO and its absolute limit, that in case the consent of a child is not required, as long as you indulge in a sexual offense with them, their consent is irrelevant, you are found guilty of it, all right? So certain students had doubts about whether it will affect if the perpetrator is female and the victim is male. No, because it is for children, all right? It is gender neutral that way, right? Then another doubt that students had was about inflation and deflation. All right, now inflation and deflation is something that we have discussed multiple times. All right, inflation is general rise of prices of all commodities. All right, so right now whenever we keep coming across economic news about inflation percentage rises to this level, that is how price level of all commodities in the economy is rising. All right, deflation is when they are falling consistently. All right, so that is inflation and deflation. Then another doubt that students had was about India, about China and its relevance, all right, to current affairs, South Asia. See, one, regarding China, anything that is related to China is important. Why? One, India is engaged in a border dispute with China. We almost came to a war with them. Then there are different summits that we have about making people follow international law. All right. So therefore, you cannot discount the credibility or importance of China in each sphere. All right. Trade, military security, international maritime routes, trade concerns, all right, all of them relate to China somehow or the other, right? So therefore, you cannot say China is not relevant, all right? We keep covering whatever aspects related to China in different spheres, right? For example, with Quad, we covered how Indo-Pacific, it is trying to impose its influence there, trying to dominate the region, right? We'll come across another article today about how Japan and US have postured about collectively keeping China under check about its expansionistic drives. All right, so all those things are basically about containing China because it wants to expand itself, it wants to dominate other countries. See, there is no problem in you being powerful. There is a problem in you trying to suppress someone who is not as powerful as you, right? So that is the problem of the world with China. It is okay if you are growing, if it is okay if you are a big power. That is fine with us. But don't pressurize us. Don't use unfair means to become powerful. Why do we think cheating is a problem, right? It is okay if someone gets better marks than us, right? But if you cheat, then that is a problem for those who got less marks, because then you are being unfair. You are being unfairly treated, all right? You're treating others unfairly, you're getting an undue advantage. That is the problem, right? So all those things about containing China are preventing it from having an undue advantage over the others, right? So on that note, we will begin with today's newspaper. So on the front page, vaccines to foreign countries not at expense of Indians. This is clarification of Indian government that see India has sufficient vaccines for Indians, and our overall vaccine percentage of people getting vaccinated on a daily basis is also rising. All right, approximately 14 lakh people have got vaccines on the last day, right? So this is overall drive of vaccines that is now quickening up, right? And on the left hand side, we have news about how IIM, Eminent Institute of India for Management, have almost no representation of the reserved categories people in their faculty positions. And the topmost institution, IIM Ahmedabad, does not even have data about people from different categories. So this is being flagged by different people through RTI applications of how they are not representative of Indian society at large, right? Majority of India's population is non-general category. However, majority of the institutions are dominated by people from the general category. Therefore, it should be equitable representation, right? So that is one concern that is being highlighted here, right? Then moving on the front page, right? This is image from the highest railway bridge that is being built over the Chenab River. It is almost about to get completed, and this is one of the major engineering marvels that is now based in India. All right. Then on that point, on a negative aspect, Delhi is the world's most polluted capital across. All right. So how we have come to know, this is from a report published in Swiss air quality technology company, that is IQ Air. All right. And among overall world's country, all right, 15 populous most polluted cities, India has 13 of them in the world. All right. This is based out of concentration of PM 2.5 that is there in average atmosphere of these cities. All right. So India has 13 of the world's 15 most polluted countries. Delhi is the most polluted capital of the world, and Ghaziabad is the most polluted city of the country. All right. So on that, then India comes third in terms of average of pollution in terms of country level. All right. So first is Bangladesh, second is Pakistan, and third is India. And China's rank is 11th in the latest report, a deterioration from 15. So China's pollution level has also increased. All right. So this is report from overall pollution level. Ghaziabad is the most polluted city of India in terms of PM 2.5. That is particulate matter, right? Then moving on the national news, nothing of real note, more and more law and order issues, not relevant for our perspective, right? Then to the editorial front. On the editorial front, the main editorial today talks about how artificial intelligence needs to be equitable. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, so whenever you see YouTube, right? So you search, let's say, the word current affairs, and then multiple links appear for you, right? And then you get suggestions. The better suggestions that you get, the more what is behind those suggestions is a artificial intelligence algorithm. All right. We all know that the fourth industrial revolution is based on artificial intelligence, algorithm based. All right. And therefore, this editorial talks about how artificial intelligence needs to be equitable, needs to be responsible. All right. So India's initiative for it is Niti Aayog's responsible AI for all strategy. All right, this is India's initiative to tell the companies working in India that artificial intelligence needs to be equitable. AI has benefits. However, if an algorithm is written to differentiate between people, all right, then biases, human biases that we all have, no one is incorruptible from them. If they transcend into technology, they lead to exclusion of people, and therefore artificial intelligence needs to be equitable. That is what the theme of the editorial is, nothing more for us, because it's merely policy based. Then on the left hand side is more political. All right, this is about how majority parties in Tamil Nadu in their manifestos are not addressing real concerns of the population, however offering more and more freebies, all right, in terms of dole outs, that less subsidies for different commodities such as petrol, diesel, cooking gas, overall direct benefit transfers. However, the most pressing issues in terms of healthcare are not actually being addressed in any of the manifestos, which is a concern that the editorial is highlighting, all right. Then the second one, bridging the gap, government should sponsor preparatory plans to help fill the faculty posts in central institutions. So this is a suggestion as to how government can do or make institutions far more representative. This is that you provide preparatory courses, preparatory study material and initiatives to people from other categories, non-general categories, so that they are competitive enough to be qualified to have positions in such universities, all right, rather than doing away with reservation as the policy in terms of its effectiveness for social justice is seen beneficial. The government should bridge the gap and have schemes to uplift it, all right. So that is a policy suggestion here, right? Then this second editorial here talks about extradition. What is extradition? Let's say a person, for example, Nirav Modi, right? Nirav Modi was a diamond trader. He took loans from Punjab National Bank and then did not pay the money and flew to United Kingdom. Government of India wants to try Nirav Modi in India, all right? Now, because he's in custody of some other country, the process of getting him from that country to the country where he has committed the crime is known as extradition, all right? In extradition, if a country has a treaty with extraditions, India does not have an extradition treaty with United Kingdom. So it is on case-to-case basis. So for extradition, then Indian agency, which is here, the CBI, had to file a case in United Kingdom, get approval from the court, and then the Home Secretary finally approves it, and then that person will be extradited. All right. So two things are being highlighted here. First is the methodology that perpetrators use to escape extradition. All right, three primary grounds that they always use. First is this, that the offense for which they are being extradited is not an offense in the country where they are living. So for example, Nirav Modi's first claim was that in United Kingdom, the claim of bank fraud is not actually an offense in United Kingdom. That got rejected. So that is first, that whatever you're being tried in the country that wants to extradite you does not have that offense in the country where you are living. All right. The second thing that is highlighted is that it is basically based on political considerations, that this is not a real crime that I did, it is basically political witch hunt that is going on, that because it suits the politics of one party that is in power, that is why they are doing it, and I have not done anything. The third thing that they usually do is that the jails in the country where I will be extradited are not hygienic enough for me to actually live. They do not uphold human rights. So all these three arguments were used by Nirav Modi. All three of them were rejected by the Court of United Kingdom. Now the US Home Secretary is the one who will finally decide whether Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi will be extradited to India or not. All right. Another thing that delays this process is being highlighted is letter roto gates. All right. Letter roto gates. What does they mean? They are a letter of approval that you get from your home country court to another country court to examine witness remotely. All right. Or examine evidence remotely. Delay in procuring these letters also leads to delay in the trial of extradition. All right. So this is concerns that is being highlighted in extradition. This is the mechanisms that perpetrators use to escape trial in India for their offenses. All right. We all know Vijay Mallya and multiple others beyond these two individuals have been tagged as economic offenders, took money of Indian people and went away. All right. So these concerns is what is being highlighted in this editorial. If you have any doubts about any of this, feel free to put it in the comment section, right? Then moving on the op-ed page, the left-hand side op-ed talks about public health and disease prevention. That see, India is okay with people treating people one-on-one. Let's say I have a disease, I go to a hospital, I will get treatment. However, what India lacks is public health. That overall society's health is not good enough to prevent diseases from happening in the first place. That is what the editorial talks about and how India can address it. All right. The second editorial on the left-hand side is coalition of compulsion. This is coalition politics, why different parties are aligning with different ones in Assam. Not relevant for us from political aspect as it is, right? Then this editorial, the third op-ed, a robust economic relationship. This is talking about on which aspects India and US can expand their trade. All right. One major thing that can be highlighted is generalized list of preferences. All right. This list of preferences is basically country saying, okay, you manufactured these goods, we will tax these goods less. All right. So this is a give and take relationship. US says we need these goods at a cheaper price for our consumers. India is like, we can produce them at a cheaper price. It increases our manufacturing. So it's a give and take relationship. All right. This is about on different things how India and US can improve their trade relationship. All right. Policy updates not relevant, right? Then the data point is about how COVID cases are rising and tagging along, telling us the overall cases. We can see that most of the states, the graph is rising. All right. Then on the other national news, right, on the left hand side, this news cannot send back Myanmar exiles. This is talking about how the government of India should be more generous, compassionate about people who are fighting for democracy, and India should support them. That India, being the largest democracy of the region, should stand for those who want democracy in their country. All right. So this is the stand that people in Mizoram want to take, the government of India to take. Indian government has till now said no refugee tag to those people who are seeking or traveling from Myanmar to Mizoram and other northeastern states, right? Then moving on the left hand side, there is a small news. What is this? This is about Swapan Das Gupta quits Rajya Sabha. two constitutional provisions needs to be highlighted. All right. First, the President of India can nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. All right. Now, these 12 members are free to join any political party that is there in the House within 6 months. If they do it after 6 months, then they are falling under the anti-defection law. All right. And if you are violating the anti-defection law, you need to resign from the House or give up your membership there. All right. The first concern with his case was that, one, he was a nominated member and has now joined the BJP after 6 months. So, which was held as a violation. In protest by different members, he has resigned on his own from Rajya Sabha. So this is the anti-defection provision. Nominated members are free to join any party within 6 months of taking oath. Beyond that, no. All right. Then moving on, Rajya Sabha passes the MTP bill. What is this news? This is about abortion rights and when women can undertake abortions. All right. So earlier, the provision was that up to 20 weeks only you could take abortion. Now, women can take abortion by opinion of first on one doctor by 20 weeks, 20 to 24 weeks by 2 doctors. And if she wants to take abortion beyond 24 weeks, then they need approval from a state doctor board. All right. So that is the new amendment. Now, there have been concerns on both the sides. Why was this amendment brought in? Because there was no such provision. Women had to approach courts to get abortion. All right. What the opposition is saying is, why do they need medical board approval anyway? If it is safe to take an abortion, then there should be no need for medical board. However, the timeline is till 20 weeks, one doctor, 20 to 24 weeks, 2 doctors' opinion, and lastly, beyond 24, medical board approval. All right. Then the left hand side, this is about Development Finance Institution, Nirmala Sitharaman. This was something that was announced in the budget. Now Union Cabinet has approved it and it will be placed before the House. This is for long-term infrastructure projects. The allocation is 20,000 crore rupees. All right. Then new appointment, new chiefs for CRPF and NSG. All right. So first is Kuldeep Singh as CRPF head, and then IPS officer M.A. Ganapati as the DG of National Security Guard. All right, these 2 posts had been lying vacant for approximately 2.5 years, and government has finally made allocations. Right. Then on the international front, nothing of real note for us. This is US-Japan warned China against coercion. This is exactly the expansionist tendency of China that other countries want to keep in check. And then Moderna begins trials for vaccines on children. This is COVID vaccines for child. All right. Apart from that, nothing of real note. More people are escaping Myanmar because of military crackdown, and pro-democracy people are being clamped down by the military by use of force and lethal weapons also. All right. Then apart from that, on the economic and sporting front, nothing of note. India lost this third T20, and that is it from the sporting side. All right. So thank you so much. This is it from us today. Make sure that you are updating your notes within Vaccines Head and taking a note of the new MTP bill that is now been put in. All right. The time period can be something that can be asked. So make sure you are making your notes about that. On that point, thank you so much. If you have any doubts about anything regarding AI, extradition or anti-defection, put it in the comment section and I will be happy to address them. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow.